Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer. Normally, I'm with my cousin, the crazy coach himself, Lancey Irvin. But tonight, he is working a tennis tournament of all things. If you can believe it or not, Lance is working a tennis tournament with our guy, Kamal Murray, here in Chicago. So he may be able to jump on the show a little bit later on, but right now he is working a tennis tournament. He and Kamal go way back. So he is working for What's Up Cuz and trying to also get us some future guests on the show. But tonight, Lance is working at a tennis event. So he may be joining us a little bit later on the show today. But wow. He also may not be here because he doesn't want to talk about the Bears. So I don't know yet. I'll have to find out from my cousin once he gets here. But Chicago NFL football team is in a very, 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 very sad state of affairs right now. It is down on a level that I have not seen in my lifetime. And that's saying a lot because there's been some bad Bears teams. But I just think right now everyone's frustration is just over the limit. But anyway, welcome to What's Up, Cuz. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here every Monday evening between 6 and 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you're watching us on the Sports Zone Chicago Facebook page, we appreciate that. Go ahead and send us a like and follow us and subscribe to us on Sports Zone Chicago. Also, we got a Twitter page for Sports Zone Chicago as well. Make sure you follow us there because we're always constantly posting information about our shows. If you're watching us on the Sports Zone Chicago app, we appreciate all those who've downloaded the app. You can find our app on iTunes. You can find it on Amazon, or you can find it at the Google Play Store. So make sure you go ahead, download that app. Check out all the shows we have here on Sports Zone Chicago. Hello to all our favorite watchers. Vernon, I know you out there. I know Armando is out there. You guys go ahead and give me a shout out tonight during the show. Let me know how you guys are doing out there. It's. I think Chicago football people are all in need of a crisis counselor at this point because I saw some sad faces today. Just all around the Chicago area, people online posting, and everybody's ready to fire Matt Nagy at the very least. Then at worst, do some physical harm to the man. It's just it's going down here. I've been kind of calm about it because I've had an emotional detachment from the Bears. This has been going on the last couple of years, but it's really, really bad what's going on out here in Chicago with the state of this football team. And even with that, I am wearing my Pro Bowl Devin Hester Bears jersey tonight because this is a Pro Bowl jersey, and I love Devin Hester. He's always been one of my favorite players of all time. So I'm just wearing because Devin, and Devin looks like, he may get into the Hall of Fame here, and that's going to be quite interesting. So me and Ivan are going to start off tonight's show talking about Devin Hester because that's something positive before we get into all this negative stuff. So Devin Hester, Ivan, he's been nominated to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And the funny thing about it is if he goes in, he will be the first just straight kick returner to ever go into the Hall of Fame. Now, he technically was a defensive back, and Lovie Smith also let him play some wide receiver kind of later in his years.
I think Lovie had no other choice.
He really had no other choice. So, and the play for Dev was pretty simple. Run fast that way. He got a bunch of fly routes because he wasn't really a wide receiver, but I also think he got a lot of, he was trying to protect his rep as well, as people seeing him as a real football player, not just a specialist. So he kind of talked Lovie into doing it. But Devin Hester has been nominated to go into the Football Hall of Fame. It's just, what are your general thoughts on that? Because he is a very kind of a unique but highly skilled player when he played.
Well, you got to look at it. If you're going to get into the Hall of Fame, you had to have this huge contribution to the game, like as far as your performance on the field. I mean, you have to be one of the upper echelon type players and be recognized. I mean, some guys get in later on in their career, you know what I mean? And that's just because you look at things a little differently and say, well, sometimes in hindsight, you look at numbers, you start remembering things, you talk to more people, and they start, vouching for a person. you could get in that way. But for a guy like Devin, a guy who's not a prominent player, a quarterback, a running back, a number one receiver, you know what I mean? Even a starter, like point blank, a starter. And although he did, like you said, Lovey did get him in a receiver, he was predominantly a kick returner, punt returner. So what you have to do in that is that you got to be. I mean, he wasn't a starter as far as like the offense and defense, but he was a starter as far as kick return and punt return. You got to change the game, and he did. He changed the game. They changed rules for Devin Hester.
They
changed
did.
the rules for Devin Hester. Devin Hester was making it so you couldn't kick to him. Like you needed a kick out of bounds is better than a kick to Devin Hester. That's pretty much what it was. And I think with that, Devin Hester changed the game of football.
Well, and the sad part about that is that Devin Hester would get the Bears excellent field position because either he'd field the punt or the kickoff and give him a great return, or like you just said, the other team was terrified to kick to him, so they were taking a penalty and kicking out of bounds on purpose for kickoffs. The punters were just trying to kick it high, so he'd have to do a fair catch, so it was shortening the distance of the punt. And the sad part is the Bears offense could never do nothing with the field position that Devin Hester was getting them. He's getting you great field position, and the Bears offense could never do nothing with it. So, you know, I thought that was really sad, but I do agree with you. I mean, Devin Hester, he changed the game, man. They had to change rules on the kickoffs because of Devin Hester, and now, you know, it's at the point now you rarely see the great kickoffs because they've moved the kick so far forward. Now, they claimed it was because they did a study and they showed that most of the injuries in the NFL were coming on the kickoff returns. I don't know about that. You know, I'm not going to argue against the science. I do think that was true. I just think that it was also an exciting part of the game that many fans liked. And I don't buy the argument that they were trying to cut down injuries. I just don't. It's the NFL. They got no credibility.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, you move them back, then you got to move something. Most of the players drop back as well, you know, at least a little bit. So now you're picking up speed. You know what I mean? Like now you have more room to come downhill, and it just seems like you're suffocating the kick returns as opposed to, you know, help injuries. I mean, maybe limbs. You know, I think that the main part was concussions. As soon as, you know, as soon as the concussions became under a microscope, the NFL was like, all right, anything we could do to stop concussions, anything you need, because all of a sudden they don't want to become liable. You know what I mean? Like they want to start, you know what I mean? They want to start changing the rules for them to protect themselves. But like I don't know if it's protecting concussions or not. Like show me the study. Like maybe in another 10, 15 years, they'll find a study. They'll study it some more, obviously, and we'll know some more. But I feel like more limb-wise, legs, arms, you know what I'm saying, pecs, stuff like that, because you're stretching out for a guy. You're getting blocked a certain way. It's a mad scramble, and limbs are everywhere, and you're trying to fight this way. There's somebody else getting blocked right into your knee. It's just chaos on a kick return. So I feel like maybe limbs are protected more than concussions. But like I said, they have to do a study for me to really, you know, for it to be really solid.
Well, another thing too, Ivan, is, you know, I keep telling people who don't play sports, and like, there's no way you can safeguard all sports. All sports come with an inherent risk of injury and or death. I've said that plenty of times. There's a slight chance that you could die playing certain sports. Let's say baseball, which is a non-contact sport, until we saw Chris Bassett get bashed in the head a couple months ago at Guaranteed Rate Field after a ball came off the bat at 100 miles an hour and cracked him in the head. The man could have died, literally. I mean, there's a risk that comes with all sports. You can't legislate rules for all these sports that's going to just, you know, take away this inherent risk of injury. It just comes with the territory. And, you know, I just thought what they did with the kickoff return rules, I thought they were penalizing people like Devin Hester in the game. And I didn't like it. You know, hey, there you go, Armando. Football is a collision sport. There you go. I mean, you guys signed up for it. You played it. I mean, I was playing football tackle till the age of 9. And I broke my femur. I was like, baseball. this is a really good sport. It's really cool, But I respect anyone who's willing to go out there and put their body out there, man or women, because there's women professional tackle football league teams as well. So I just was really kind of aggravated with the whole rule change, but Devin Hester, let's see if we can get into the Hall of Fame. What do you think they're gonna do? What's your gut feeling? Do you think they're gonna let him in the Hall of Fame or what?
I would argue maybe if he doesn't, it has to be the second time around. But he was a starter on special. He was the guy. He was the punt return kick returner. And I mean, like I said, within a matter of those first couple of years, that first year was just like, wow. Who the hell is this guy? And then the way he was doing it, you know what I mean? And then you got the Super Bowl kick, the only time a Super Bowl kickoff has been returned. Right. And Devin Hester, and we all remember that. It was the most exciting thing I've seen until the rest of the game. But, the rest of the game happened, and I was just like, I remember there being a bunch of wings and me just kind of sitting there, like, not so much crying, but sulked. Just like, what do we do? Like, what do we do now? I was picking up the pieces at that point. But anyway, you saw him change the game with right in front of your eyes. You saw how devastating he was to teams. Like, they had no answer for Devin Hester at a certain point because he could just do so, he could just be there and then not be there. He could contort his body this way to go that way. And it was, if you watched him at Miami at all, I would put him in the Football Hall of Fame just for some of the run backs that he did there. There was just, watch his Miami returns. I would say they're 10 times more exciting than some of the returns he had in the NFL.
Right. And, and that's how I knew about him because I grew up a Miami Hurricane fan. So I knew him. I knew the whole time. So when the Bears drafted him, I'll never forget, I was talking with Jonathan Hood of ESPN. I was on Hoodie's show just as a guest caller back in the day. And I was like, this Hester dude. And he was like, I don't think he'll ever really amount to anything. He's not a great defensive quarterback. I was like, Hoodie, trust me on this dude. I was like, yes, he's a terrible defensive quarterback. I was like, but he's got a special gift that we may not ever have seen before in the NFL. He's like, we'll see. He's just a draft pick. And, now, Hoodie is like, yeah, dude changed the game.
Something about running with the football. Like I was a ball carrier. So it's like when you got it and you got it, it's just like you're just on air. Like you're on skates. You're just, I'm here, I'm there, I'm gone. And I've, to the level that Devin Hester, that professional level, I can only imagine him just like you're seeing it so slowed down.
Right.
Like there ain't no way. I mean, he's just the best. You got to put in the best. The best. That's what the Hall of Fame is. The best. He's the best ever at what he did.
I agree. And the other thing about that too, because we talk Hall of Fame all the time on this show, and there's politics involved in it, and a lot of it is because it's voted on mostly the media members and then some of the former players. A lot of it is how much they respect you. Did you get along well with the media? Were you a good teammate? Were you a good player for the league? Were you well liked amongst around the league? What did you do off the field? Were you always causing a black eye for the league? All those things come into play when you're talking about Hall of Fame. We wish it could be just strictly what they did on the field, but it's not. It's more than that. So I think Devin was always beloved by the media. He wasn't the best speaker in the world, but he was always honest and straight up with you. And so I think that he has a lot of things in his favor, and no one can deny his talent. So we'll see what happens with Devin Hester. Speaking of physical, non-contact sport, baseball got pretty physical today up in Detroit. The Detroit Tigers and the Chicago White Sox, they had a little bit of let's call it a dust-up. Wasn't a full-fledged brawl, but we did have both benches clear. Jose Abreu was hit for the 21st time this season by a pitcher from Detroit. This time, pitcher Lange, he hit Jose right on the elbow. And, at this point, Jose is just done with people hitting him. It was a nasty hit, fastball right off the elbow, left an ugly mark. And Jose got to first base. The pitcher then threw a wild pitch, and Jose was attempting to advance to second base on the play. And he was clearly going to be out by like a mile and a half. So he just went in hard toward the second bases. You can see the second baseman is tagging him. And I can tell you what we do on that play as second baseman, but he was going to tag him, and Jose was coming in like a freight train, and he slid late, and he damn near took the second baseman in the left field, Goodwin. So, after that, Goodwin kind of stands up like, hey, man, what are you doing? Jose was like, I know you ain't talking. And then a couple other people came in. The umpire tried to get in between them. Then the benches cleared, and it was a lot. If you didn't see it, go back and watch the replay of it today. Billy Hamilton, I was very impressed with, because Billy Hamilton is like the smallest dude on the White Sox, but he's also the fastest. So he was like the first dude out there, and he was like in the middle of the scrum. I gotta give Billy a lot of credit. He was really like right there, like, no, partner, y'all ain't about to keep doing this to our captain. So just got very interested in the Detroit White Sox game this year. And, Jose has been hit so much, Ivan, that, it's gotten to a point where I'm surprised the White Sox haven't done anything to retaliate against anybody. Really, they did hit Ohtani. It took dude 3 pitches to get him, but he finally got him. But I get where they're coming from. They're tired of people hitting Jose Abreu.
I would be tired if I was Jose Abreu. That getting hit by a baseball is not fun. Like, I mean, when I was playing, high school, college a little bit, it was not fun to get hit by a pitch. And I'm a wider person. I'm shorter, but I'm wider. So I understand, like, you're covering some area, even, sideways. You're covering some area. It sucks. And if you're constantly getting hit, and then you constantly think that, or not constantly, but if you have this inkling that these people are doing it on purpose,
yes,
then it becomes personal. Now you're like, whoa, man, are these guys trying to ruin my career? Are they trying to hurt me? Are they going to try to take me out of this season? And the answer is yes. Like, honestly, there's only one, like unless you are just throwing at his legs, like just throwing it in the dirt, hoping it just skips up. Because that's what I'll just fire it right in the dirt and try to hit him off the ground. Try to just take his calf. But if you're in there firing at the dude's hip, firing at the dude's kneecap, his elbow, obviously you don't have, like you said, it took them 3 times to hit Shohei Ohtani. If you don't have a guy with real good control, what if he hits him in the head? Things like that. You essentially, yes, you are trying to hurt him and take him out.
Yeah, and I think the White Sox they've not been happy about it, but they've also been smart about it. They haven't just retaliated in a way where they're going to lose one of their key players. So, we had Mike Wright hit Shohei Ohtani. Okay, that's cool. That's the way you do it. You use somebody who you can afford to lose. And let's be honest, Wright probably is not going to be on the playoff roster. So, that was his one job, to go out there and hit the dude. And, that's what he did.
Does he get a ring for that? Does it still count? If they win, does he get a ring?
Right. I don't, they would probably give him like a cut of the playoff money, because they do that anyway.
At least a little plaque.
Right, a plaque.
Participant. You were there.
It's like $1,000 or something. Hey, good job. He played a couple of games. So, because that's the other thing a lot of people don't know about all these teams, that, just because you were on the team doesn't mean you're going to get a playoff share if you weren't involved in the playoffs. Now, the players can, as a team, come together and they can vote and say, we'll give them a cut of the playoff share. And then they can kind of determine how much they want to give you. But, I don't know. I don't know if Wrighty's going to get a cut for hitting Ohtani, but, at least he went out there and did something. But, yeah, Jose went in, sliding hard. I'm not mad at him, man, because, like you say, getting hit with a baseball is never fun. I've been hit with plenty of them. I never charged them out because nobody was really intentionally trying to hit me. But, when you get hit, it hurt, man. That ball ain't no punk. So I can only imagine what Jose getting hit by major league pitchers 21 times. That ball coming 90-something miles an hour, you getting hit. That's a whole different story. So we'll see. Speaking of getting beat up, let's talk Bears. So yesterday, the Chicago Bears, the charter franchise of the NFL, people keep trying to throw that out there. Woo, Lord, they stunk it up yesterday in Cleveland, Ohio. People say that Lake Erie smells bad. It couldn't have smelled as bad as the Bears yesterday. They were god awful. They managed to score 6 points in their loss to the Cleveland Browns, and Justin Fields got sacked 9 times. We had like 47 yards of total offense. It was
one net passing yard.
One net passing yard. It was probably, and it seems like I've been saying this so much over the last 3-4 years. It was the worst game I've ever seen the Bears play. It was the worst game I've ever seen the Bears play. And I keep saying that consistently every year. It was mind-boggling just exactly how bad they were, Ivan.
I was trying in the pregame. I was trying to give myself. I was lying to myself because, like I said, I woke up. There was Chic was playing. Good Times was playing on the radio. I dropped my wife off. The sky was blue. You know what I mean? Everything was looking good. I'm like, Justin's in today. I got my Fields jersey on. It was just you lie to yourself. Even with Justin, you lie to yourself because of who is running the show. You lie to yourself because you're like, man, at all costs you want to keep supporting your team. But you know that the head coach and what the GM hasn't done it's just come to a head. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jason, I've seen that offense before. I haven't seen it that bad. It hasn't felt that bad because you're watching Justin Fields, your future, and it looks so bad. Even though I don't think this shouldn't hang over Justin Fields' head at all. He even said that he's going back to work. So I'm looking forward to what Justin Fields does post Matt Nagy. But right now, it hurt that bad. It was the worst loss I think I've seen this team take. And I've seen this team get beat the crap out of by the New England Patriots by 50 points. I've seen John Shoop's offense. I've seen Jonathan Quinn running the show. Chris Chandler running the show. Henry Burris running the show. I've seen we've seen all of this.
Yeah.
We've seen all of this. This was the most embarrassing loss I could ever imagine. Like I can't remember one that was worse. And I've seen those offenses. I've seen where we had less than 100 yards in the game. I've seen where we couldn't pass the ball and the running back had like 30 carries because you can't do anything else. Like the thing is, we talk about having accountability within the organization. The coach seems to want to hold somebody accountable. And he did yesterday. He finally said it yesterday. It's all on me. But it still seems like there's a collaboration that he's trying to be like, it's multiple things. It's this, it's that. It's like at a certain point, no, it's just point blank we have to move on because this is what's best for our future. And the future is Justin Fields. It's not Matt Nagy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said there. It was just unwatchable. It was unwatchable. And I happened to be in all places yesterday, Ohio. I was visiting my goddaughters, and I'm in Columbus, which is 2 hours away from Cleveland. Most of the people there.
Well, that's Justin stomping. I mean, that would have been. It should be prime Justin area.
Exactly. Fields played at Ohio State, so they were all. Of course they were pulling for Cleveland, but they were just as excited to see Justin Fields in Columbus as Bears fans were. So they're like, hey, that's our guy. Justin's playing all right. We hope we win, but, we want him to do well. And that was their thing. They were like, we want to beat him, but we want him to do well. And you know how it is, Ivan. We've all been to sporting events, and usually, you're kind of talking smack with the other team's fans. It's good-natured. You don't want to get too crazy. But I found myself, as I was watching the last parts of the game at a local bar out there, that people were more sad. The Browns fans were happy with their team winning, but they felt sad for Justin in Columbus. They were like, wow, he's better than this. This is, and their first thing was they're not blocking for him. Like, he has no blocking. So if nobody's blocking for him, he's going to get killed. And I sent you guys a text, on our Sports Zone Chicago thread, and I was like, Nick Foles needs to be in. I wouldn't play Justin right now. Now you had a different take, but I was honestly scared for the man's health and safety.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be that, Jason. And I said it before. I was trying to talk to Sean about this. Is that you don't have anybody there that knows what the hell they're doing as far as what they're going to do for play calling for Justin Fields. His package needs to be built by somebody who has run his package, like the things that make Justin Fields successful. And there's not anybody on that roster that I feel like can do that. Who, like, you saw what they just went ahead and just default. We're going to do this my way. That was Matt Nagy's plan. That was the game plan. They said they had a plan. That was the plan. That was the worst plan I could imagine. I don't want Justin to be Lamar, because I feel like Lamar takes too many unnecessary shots, and Baltimore's abusing him as a quarterback. You need to find him some help. You need to find Justin some help. And right now, in that game, there was no help. I know there was. I was watching Speak for Yourself today. Marcellus Wiley and was it not Sam Acho? It's his brother, Emmanuel Acho. And I love that show. I love both of them. Both of them were just out of pocket today. There was the wrong thing. Marcellus he blamed Justin Fields for it. Then you have Emmanuel. He gave Ryan Pace he made sure Ryan Pace had the blame, but they weren't going after Matt Nagy. And I feel like that is the wrong way. I was like either you're not paying attention, or you're buddies with him or something like that. Because we've seen this for 3 years, Jason. We've seen this. Matt Nagy does what he wants to do. He didn't put Mitch in a position to win. We berated Mitch. We killed Mitch. Mitch didn't deserve that. Mitch was working hard. His teammates knew he didn't deserve that. So now you got a guy that you can't trust because he wants to do his own thing. So he's renegade right now. Matt Nagy's rogue on his players. It's Matt Nagy's way, or that's it. The defense doesn't really give a shit because the defense don't answer to Matt Nagy. And apparently no other player does either. So Matt Nagy needs to go ahead and just call it a day. Give it over to Laser. If you really want to truly save your job, give it over to Laser, and maybe, just maybe, he can save your ass, just like Mitch saved your ass along with Bill Laser last year.
But you know what? And this is what I don't want. I don't want him saving his job. I don't want him here. I don't want Kevin Williams.
It's the predicament we're in, Jason. I hate it too.
Kevin is apologizing to Trubisky for all the bad things we said about it. You know what, Kevin? You might have reached me on that now, because now I'm like, maybe Mitch Trubisky wasn't that horrible. Maybe he really was. I definitely can kind of hear what you guys are saying. What's up, Derek? I can definitely hear what you guys are saying. It's definitely on the coach, because he's ruined now how many players. And, I think about Riley Ridley and what happened to him when he questioned Nagy in that practice. We never really saw Ridley on the field again. And we knew the kid had talent. But I'm starting to agree with people more now than ever that Nagy is the major problem. However, and this is where, I kind of disagree with you all a little bit. Nagy can only do what Nagy can do when the people above him allowed him to do it. So Ryan Pace is allowing him to do it. Ted Phillips is allowing him to do it. And Virginia McCaskey is allowing everybody to do it.
Bunch of enablers.
So my column that I got coming out tomorrow morning on my new website, jcoydenreports.com, it's about Virginia. A lot of people are like, oh, she's a 98-year-old white woman. I'm going in on her ass. I'm going in on that old ass, because she doesn't just get to sit there on the pile of billions of dollars that she has and just let chaos reign throughout her organization. She's the head of the company. Unless someone else has come in and bought the Bears I don't know about, she is the owner of the Chicago Bears. She is the owner. So it's supposed to stop at the top. And the top has been there for 50 some odd years and ain't nothing changed. And, that's why when we come back from this commercial break, I will tell you my take on the Chicago Bears and what I am personally doing. So remember, you are watching What's Up, Cuz. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll be right back with more talk.
Let's get back to normal. How do we do that? Wear masks, Wash your hands, stand 6 feet apart, get tested, and most important, roll up your sleeve and get the shot.
Get the shot. Get the shot.
Get the shot.
I got the shot. I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot, and so should you.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer. My cousin Lance Irvin is working a tennis tournament somewhere in Chicago, for God's sake. So he's going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show today. But Lance is out working a tennis tournament with our guy, Kamal Murray. But, hey, coming up on the show at 7 o'clock, for those of you who have children that play volleyball, and, Lord, I got a whole bunch of friends whose kids play volleyball. We got a guest coming on at 7 o'clock, because we're going to talk about the opportunities for African Americans and Latinos in the sport of volleyball. You know, it's a sport that I've been refereeing for almost 15 years now. And the thing about volleyball is that there are a lot of people from our communities, Ivan, that play volleyball, but like you don't really see them out there. And it's not really talked about because volleyball doesn't have a professional league here in the States. And, you know, a lot of people only watch it during the Olympics. But it's a very diverse sport. It really, really is. And very popular as well.
Yeah, I see a lot of people this summer, well, especially this summer, or throughout my life, I've seen people at the parks just kind of setting it up. Boom, we got families. I mean, you usually, when you had you went out, you went in, you had a dinner, you had a picnic, you want to play volleyball, you got softball, over there. But it's something that, typically in Chicago I was used to, but seeing it in the parks now more often, it just seems like people are going there to play volleyball instead of just like, yeah, we here in recreation, just hanging out. They actually go and competitively play it.
They really do. And, a lot of people don't know this, but it is creeping up. I have to check the latest numbers, but as of 2 years ago, it was only second to basketball for girls sports in terms of popularity in high school. High school girls basketball was number one, but volleyball, the trend was going up. And girls basketball, the trend was actually going down. So they were expecting then within the next 3 to 5 years that volleyball was going to actually catch basketball in terms of girls' participation sport in high school. And I can tell you it's getting pretty damn close I wish Lance was on to talk about this, and maybe he'll talk about it later. So my cousin Brooklyn, Lance's daughter, Brooklyn is the starting setter for Hampton University. Brooklyn started out playing basketball with Whitney Young her freshman year. We're basketball friendly family, Then her aunt Cindy told her about volleyball.
I couldn't imagine her not playing basketball, Jason. You know what I mean? Like with Lance being her dad, I couldn't imagine the ball. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't be right.
Oh, I'm gonna let my cousin tell you the story of when she came home and said she was ready to give up hoops. I'm not going to deprive him of that daddy honor. So when Lance gets on the show, he's got a personal story to tell about that. But, Brooklyn chose volleyball, and she got really good at it. She kept working at it. And, one of the things that I really want to talk to Brandon about is that a lot of times our kids are introduced to the sport not until, like, they get into high school, or some of them maybe 7th to 8th grade, Whereas some of these other players, the top-notch players, they're coming out playing it very early when they're 3, 4, 5 years old. So they've got that 10-year head start on many of the kids in our community, and it takes our kids a lot of times to play catch-up and learn the basic skills. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about with my guy, Brandon Reeves. He's coming on at 7 o'clock. He's a head coach right now. He used to be the coach of Chicago State University, and he's now he was the first named men's coach at Edward Waters College, which is down in Florida. So Brandon Reeves is going to be coming on about 7 o'clock, and he's going to talk a lot of volleyball. I got a lot of volleyball parents out there as well, and he can really talk this sport. It's a guy that really knows it, and so many people from our community are getting into volleyball, so I really want to have him to come on and talk about it. But let's talk about something. I've got some personal news to announce on today's show, man. I'm officially filing for divorce. You need to know this. I can't take it no more. We've been having problems. I'm officially filing for divorce. I'm having a divorce sale, everybody. As you can see, all my Bears gear is up for sale. It's all 99% off. 99% off the regular price. I'm selling everything from my man cave flag to my shirts to my hats to my license plate frame, to my Bears coaster. It's all got to go. The store is closing up shop. I can't. They not my main boo no more. The Miami Dolphins are now who I am married to. The Bears have now. We're in a legal separation right now, Ivan. So,
oh, you just testing the market, just testing the water to see what's out there. Look, and we talked about it. We mentioned it. You mentioned it. I'm sure we've all had mentioned it about how the youth in Chicago are not going to grow up Bears fans. Like they don't care about the Chicago Bears. And, right now, it's, we pointed out to how they'll just jump ship to the winner because that's where they want to be in it. Right. Like, first of all, that's a shitty mentality. Like, I mean, just first and foremost, I don't think that's the right mentality at all. But as far as you trying to connect to the next generations, winning speaks to every generation. You can connect to all of us, not just the young, by winning. And I just feel like right now the Bears are living so just one step at a time, slowly. They're not looking to the future. They're not playing. The Bears are playing checkers. The Bears have been playing checkers for years while the rest of the league has been playing chess. Okay? And it just seems to me like they don't get that. They're content with looking at their stats, Jason. They're content with looking at their money. They're content with, hey, we're going to go and make this, even if they do move to Arlington, they're content with that being a giant stadium without a winner. That's how bad it is. They're content with a giant stadium without a winner.
Well, and to answer Derek's question, Derek's saying that he got a side piece team too, and he can't, you can't divorce a team. Derek, I felt like that, and I was like, well, I'm not going to divorce them, but I got to cheat on them because they're not serving my needs. But just over the last 3 years, I would say my emotional attachment from the Bears has just been pulling apart because of the stuff they've been doing. And it's like any other relationship that it can drift apart. And if you're not careful, you're not trying to mend it back together, it can break. Things can break. And that's what's happening right now with the Chicago Bears, of franchise. We talked about this more on Sean and Maya's show. And I mean, we were really kind of in depth about it. And you just brought it up. They're not getting younger fans. The Bears fan base is not a young fan base. I'm not saying we're all a bunch of old farts, but they're not, you don't see young people talking about the Bears. You don't see them, rocking a lot of Bears gear, calling it stylish. You see more people rocking the White Sox gear, especially when they came out with that new Southside jersey. Young people are like, oh, okay, wait a minute, what's this here? What's this here? This kind of nice, and y'all winning. The Bears, they don't have the flashiest of jerseys anyway. They're more traditional, and they're not playing good. They are, people keep saying, oh no, they'll always be hitting. Okay. So Vernon says I need to have a side team. So I've started a movement, Ivan. I'm proud of myself. Vernon said he needs a side piece team. So any good suggestions? That's a good question. So Vernon, let me throw a couple teams out here who I think are up and coming. All right. The Las Vegas Raiders, Vernon. That could be a potentially good side piece team. Right now they're 3-0. They beat my boo, the Dolphins, yesterday. But the Raiders, they've always had the cool uniform, that black and gray with the skull on it. They got some crazy fans. And now they moved to Las Vegas, Vernon. So they're in Vegas. They got a brand new stadium. They got my guy Gruden is the coach. Chucky crazy anyway. So the Raiders, that's a good team. My team. Oh, look at that. Derek Burns got Arizona. So you got the Arizona Cardinals as your side piece team, Derek. And that's funny because a lot of people don't know. So I'll just go ahead and put this out there. The Cardinals originally was a Chicago team. We used to have two teams here in Chicago back in the 50s and early 60s. We had the Chicago Cardinals and we had the Chicago Bears. The Cardinals then moved to St. Louis and then they moved to Arizona. So Derek has picked up the car. Now here goes Armando. He said, I got the Chargers. That's his side piece team. So you see, I'm starting.
Everybody's scrambling to get a side piece team so they don't get left out.
People are all now trying to pick their side piece team. So the Chargers, that's a good side piece team. You got Los Angeles out there. That's a good place to go visit and kick it. That another team got a brand new stadium, got some flashing uniforms, got a good record. Chargers. I went with the Dolphins. Right now we wanted 2, but we gave the Raiders hell yesterday. Lost that game in overtime. It's Miami, great party city. Got pretty cheerleaders, nice little aqua uniform. So so those are 3 teams right there: the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Dolphins that people should start looking at. So I got the feeling that there are going to be a lot more people looking to get other teams, and the Bears need to understand that this is serious. Like, I'm not just some crazy fool with an internet show. I'm saying this because I'm seeing this in public, Ivan. Just the level of, let's just say this, there's a level of disgruntledness and disgust from Bears fans towards this franchise that I've not seen in my lifetime.
It's becoming that way. And you come out of the Trestman era, you come out of John Fox, you've seen the depths of hell as a football fan. You know what I mean? Like you've been there. You've been to the abyss. And to only, have that taste in 2018, I hate mentioning it now. I almost hate it. I hate mentioning 2018 more than I hate when they march out the 85 Bears every time we start to lose. Every time we start to lose, you're going to see it, and you are going to see it. You're going to see them be marched out. I'm saying my buddy Marco that does a podcast with me, he was saying the same thing yesterday. Here come the 85 Bears. I remember this? You guys remember this? And it's stop mentioning 2018. Matt Nagy mentioned 2018 in his press conference with a big smile on his face. And I'm sitting there like, Coach, that was 5 years ago, Coach. Are you awake? Are you here? Are you in the present? Because that was 5 years ago. Today is now, and your team is not winning. Your offense has done nothing.
Right. It's really bad. Vernon says, what if someone has the Packers as a side piece team? Now, Vernon, there are limits to side piece now. Hold on now.
Now you're just talking about betrayal.
Right. Now,
this is just straight up adultery, bro.
I didn't say go pick up your wife's best friend, for the love of God, Vernon. I mean, come on, Vernon. They're the rules of this thing, man. You're trying to get us all killed. I'm not doing that now. The Packers, I would say this. The Packers and the Vikings are off limits. Would you agree with that, Ivan?
I'm okay, and I will choose the Detroit Lions.
You know what? And I actually wouldn't care because the Lions haven't done anything.
0-16. Like you got to start. Look, for me, if I'm gonna, and this is how I am with other sports side piece teams.
Right.
They got to be at the bottom. Like they got to be down and they got to work themselves up. Otherwise, you are a bandwagon fan.
Yeah. Okay. And see, I went all the way to a whole nother conference. I'm all the way down in South Florida. I'm not going to the state next door.
Yeah, you ain't sneaking over next door, right? Exactly.
So that's my side piece team. So yeah, so I have filed for my divorce from the Bears. I'm legally separated from them right now. I just can't. The Devin Hester jersey is not for sale because this is a Pro Bowl special edition jersey. Yes, he does have the Bear stuff on there, but Devin Hester is.
He played for the NFC. Is that
he played for the NFC? It's like them people who go to Olympics and they they go under the Olympic flag like they ain't representing their country.
Oh, Vernon, you didn't know? My divorce, she left the Vikings. She kicked the Vikings to the curb. Yeah. She's a Raiders fan now.
Yeah, you know, Maya, she don't play. She got side pieces. She don't have a side piece, but Maya's kicked the Vikings to the curb. Yes, that is true. We do have to be factual about that. So you know, that's where I am with the Bears. You know, we'll see what happens going forward here, but you know, I think they definitely got some problems coming their way. Speaking of that, yesterday here in Chicago, very kind of sad, nostalgic moment. For those of you from the Chicago area, or if you're into horse racing, you are familiar with Arlington Park, the Arlington Million. It's one of our racetracks here in the Chicago area. It's a beautiful, beautiful late racetrack. I won a lot of money there. I lost a lot of money there. But yesterday was the last race at Arlington Park. And there was a lot of people out there. Like you said, Ivan, yesterday was a picture perfect day in the Chicago area. And people dressed up like they were going to the Kentucky Derby. They were having the food, the drinks. They had 9 races. And after the 9th race, you know, it was kind of like a goodbye. They had a big fireworks show yesterday to conclude everything, just from all the people there to say goodbye. I'm going to miss Arlington from the horse racing, but I'm also thinking of all the people, all the workers who work at that place. You know, it's no different than when any other job, factory, manufacturer leaves the city. There are people who are losing their jobs. There are a lot of people who lost their jobs yesterday, from the people who take the bets, the horse groomers, the restaurant people, the valet people. A lot of people lost their job yesterday with the closing of Arlington Park. And I wanted to say that first and foremost. Then there's the loss of the horse racing. The horse racing industry is going down as casinos have come up. They're starting to see how people are changing their gambling habits, and people are going more to the casino than they are to the racetrack.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure you'll find a market for horse racing. You know, I'm sure there'll still be it, but it's not what it was. You know, you'll still have the big 3 races. You'll still get the attention there. But like you said, sports gambling is different now. I mean, maybe you continue the horse races and you start putting them online, a little more on TV, but you're able to go ahead and bet from your house or something like that, just to get the revenue
right
from there. So if you're not going to get an attendance, but yeah, I mean, it's like you said, people lost their job. I don't like when people lose their job. I mean, unless you're really shitty at your job,
right?
I mean, and you do nothing you can say. But I don't like when good people lose their job this way. It's not a happy moment. Although there's a lot of happy memories and there's a lot of sad memories too, like you said.
Yeah, a lot of people. My last $2 out there at the racetrack, but yeah, it's just really sad. It's a loss for Illinois. It's a loss for Cook County. It's a loss for the city from the revenue and just the taxes, revenue that they get from having that, and just a place for people to go out there. And for those of you outside the Chicago area, we talked about it a little bit before, but it's closing, and the Chicago Bears are at least one of the bidders who are looking to acquire the property. We're all being honest here. We know the Bears are going to win. We know they're going to acquire the property, and we know they are planning on moving out there and building a brand new stadium and hotels. They're going to basically do what the Cubs did with the area around Wrigley Field, where they built up all the hotels and restaurants around there now. That's what the Bears' plan is. They want more money.
I mean, they should get more money. If they win the bid, you're going to see a mad scramble from the city. Because Lori's already, kind of with her foot in her mouth right now.
Yeah,
as is, because she's trying to bark when the Bears are like, wait, like, you got a lot of problems on your plate. Like, you ain't going to be the one to even decide it if you play your cards wrong. Right. But the Bears know that they have no say in it at this point. Like, they know that they can take that hit with the contract, the breach of contract.
Least. Yeah.
Yeah, the lease. They know they could take that. They know that they have a path. Like, they're not going to just react without a path. to Arlington. So I'm sure that they have a plan, the Chicago Bears, that is. Now, will the city have a counter plan? Because we talked about the area over on where Soldier Field is at. Like, we're all willing to be like, hey, man, forget the parks. Like, forget the park. We want the Bears. Like, we want the Bears on the lakefront. Like, that's our park. Our park is right here. And I know you're going to have a tough time with some of these people, friends of the parks and stuff like in the city itself. It's just, you want them to say, I just don't think it's feasible, Jason. I think they're going. I really believe they're gone.
Oh, I said it 3 months ago on Sean and Maya, and I put it on my Facebook page. People thought, great, the Bears will never leave Chicago. I'm like, okay. Believe that if you want to, but that money gonna talk. That money gonna talk, man. And from a standpoint, we discussed it. They should leave. From their business standpoint and model, they should leave. They're basically renting out Soldier Field, which makes renting
it out at a lesser capacity than every other stadium in the league.
Right, only 63,000, I think, you get in Soldier Field. So I mean, it's bad business. They're just a bad franchise. They didn't even get that part right. They could have been making way more money if they owned their own stuff and had it in a good location. But I think the move was kind of like you said. They should have made a play to buy Soldier Field. And because it's now a National Historic Monument site, that's now going to be more difficult.
I thought they stripped that away.
Oh, you know what? Did they?
When they put the dome on there, they took too much of it off. They took too much of the original structure off, and they stripped that landmark.
I didn't know if they stripped. I know they were talking about stripping. I don't know if they followed through on that. But yes, I'm gonna have to look that up to see if it did get stripped. Yeah, look that up. So in the meantime, yeah, you're gonna look that up. I'll talk to the people. So in the meantime, we got the Friends of the Park people who, there's certain land areas are zoned in Chicago where you can't build stuff. So, we got a lot going on here in the city. So I think the Bears are going to leave. I think they're going to go to Arlington Park. There is some history behind this. The new stadium in Los Angeles that they built, it was built on the old Hollywood Park racetrack. So there's precedence for this happening. The Hollywood Park racetrack is where in the movie, which one of the movies was it? Beverly Hills Cop? It was either Beverly Hills Cop or 48 Hours 2, or one of them where they shot the scene at the race. Might
have been 48 Hours.
48 Hours 2. One of them. They shot the scene at the racetrack. The one where they were robbing the money. They robbed the racetrack. Well, that was at Hollywood.
You got me confused now. I'm not like, is it Beverly Hills Cop or is it like?
Right, it's one
Eddie's in one of them.
Right, it's one of the cop movies, and that's where that was shot at. So if they were willing to take that one down and put the Rams Stadium, they didn't even have teams yet. They tore it down. It was Beverly Hills Cop 2, says Derek Burns. That's what I thought. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 2. So if they were willing to do it for that, they sure as hell will do it for the Bears and be like, yeah, come on out here.
Yeah, and with the Soldier Field, I'm looking at it is Wikipedia, but I feel like this is the correct, since we were talking about it, we mentioned it being declassified. Soldier Field was given an award in design excellence by the American Institute of Architects in 2004. On September 23rd, 2004, as a result of the 2003 renovation, a 10-member federal advisory committee unanimously recommended that Soldier Field be delisted as a National Historic Landmark.
Wow. So did they follow?
They did too much to it. They did. The spaceship was too much. Like they took too much off of the original, foundations. It's a different. It's not even the same thing.
Chicago. Why we can't get stuff? How did somebody not talk to the engineer and say, "Hey man, make sure you only cut it to here, not here." So no. This is Chicago. We'll cut it all down and we'll figure that part out later. We'll bribe the people to get our historic landmark status back in. Now here you go. What can you say? Hey, what can I say? Hey, let's talk about a subject that is dear to your heart and to the heart of many other baseball fans. As today we heard of a retirement that was being announced in Major League Baseball. Joe West is going to be calling it quits at the end of the regular season. Joe West, who earlier this year at the Guaranteed Rate Field, as a matter of fact, when the White Sox were playing the Cardinals, became the Major League Baseball's umpire who umpired the most games in the history of the sport. There was a big presentation for Joe. They brought in his family, his friends, and all that good stuff. Joe has umpired more games than anybody in history. And many people are saying it was like 10 years more than he needed to be out there umpiring. And my whole thing that people need to understand is that Major League Baseball umpires are like Supreme Court justices. Once you all, as long as you don't do nothing ridiculously stupid, they are going to keep you on as a Major League Baseball umpire forever. And Joe West, it was announced today that this will be his final season. So that means he's got about 10 more games, Ivan, and then he will fade away just like his country music songs. What are your thoughts on umpire Joe West retiring at the end of this season?
I think I agree with Derek Burns. But, I mean, you got to give him some credit as far as the longevity.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was out there year in and year out. Even before, I mean, at one point, I'm sure Joe West was a quality umpire. But there's just been with age, your vision, obviously reflexes. Yeah. I just think Joe West was in it just to get the record at a certain point.
Oh, he was.
And everybody knew it, and nobody else wanted to go ahead and pull him for that or give him more shit, except for the fans. The fans wanted to give him more than just some words in some ballparks. But, give him credit for the longevity for what he's done. I mean, it's kind of like a thank you for your service, Joe West, to baseball, because he did it for so long.
I agree. And, I'm not going to lie. I mean, to be out there, whatever he was, almost 40 years, umpire Major League Baseball, that ain't easy, man. So, I'll give him credit for that. But I do agree with you guys 100%. He was there too long, man. He was there too long. I mean, I'm a volleyball official. I'm not planning on doing this when I'm 75 years old. I don't give a damn if I'm a D1 NCAA official, which I'm getting kind of close to getting to. I'm not going to be up there on that ladder doing that. It's not fair to the sport. It's not fair to the athletes. It's not fair to the coaches. And, I feel that way about Joe West. I feel that way about Angel Hernandez as well. These are guys who I think have just kind of, cheated the sport in a lot of ways. And, I'm not happy about that.
Selfish. And like I said, prior to a certain point, I imagine Joe West was a quality umpire. But then you get into the selfish portion, and that's him trying to break a record for himself. In this particular situation, Joe, it's not a team record. It's not a individual record, a part of a team. It's you trying to do it for you, not your crew. Nobody else but you. And I mean that's where I draw the line with Joe West. That's where I think he was a selfish umpire later in his career.
I agree. So, Joe West will be gone at the end of the season. He will be in the Hall of Fame. It's just going to happen. And he deserves to be because he set the record. But, I think Major League Baseball needs to start negotiating with the umpires union on some stuff. I think some of these guys are too long in the tooth, and there are a lot of people down the minor leagues who deserve the opportunity who are not getting their shot. So, we'll see what they do going forward. But, hey, we're getting ready to take our commercial break because coming up after this commercial break, we're going to bring on our guest for tonight's show, Dr. Brandon Reeves, because we're going to talk some volleyball. I've got my volleyball parents who are watching the show. I know you all have questions, and this is a guy who's going to be able to answer a lot of them for you, and he's going to also talk about what he's doing down in Alabama right now and the growth of men's volleyball on the collegiate level and boys volleyball in the club and the high school level. And, you all got questions. I got a bunch of friends who always asking me questions about volleyball. I just ref. I don't coach. I can't tell y'all no techniques, no nothing. This guy, he's going to be able to talk to you about that stuff and talk about the opportunities that are out there for our kids in our community in the sport of volleyball. A lot more opportunities out there for them. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're coming back with Brandon Reeves. We're going to talk some volleyball. You are watching What's Up, Cuz?
See me. See me.
See me. See my dark skin my kinky hair.
See me. Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my tan skin and my curly hair.
See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my face, wet with tears from years of oppression.
See my hands, weathered and worn from decades of pulling myself up through your society.
See my feet, split from centuries of walking your delicate line.
See me.
See me.
See me.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, and oh my God, I can't believe it. Look who's here, my cousin. But he knew how to make a Hollywood entrance, don't he? He knew Brandon was coming on. And all of a sudden, it's 7 o'clock. Here he is, tripping on the show. What's up, cuz?
What's up, cuz? How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's very good to see you.
It's not called Hollywood. Matter of fact, first of all, let me start on that jersey.
Yes.
Whose jersey is that, or what jersey is that?
So
That's something new?
this is the Pro Bowl jersey from Devin Hester when he made the Pro Bowl team when he was here with the Bears. So you missed the show. You know, you missed the segments earlier. I have divorced the Bears, Lance. I have filed for divorce. Me and the Miami Dolphins, our new thing. There's my stuff. As you can see, I'm having a divorce sale. I am selling all of my merchandise for the Bears, 99% off, Lance. So you can get a good deal here. I'm divorcing the Bears. I picked up the Miami Dolphins. Me and the Bears are legally separated right now. Things ain't been going well between us. So I had to do what I had to do.
You know what? I'm not going to get my cousin started again, but you know, I've been busy this weekend. You know, I'm a huge tennis guy. So I've been a little busy, but judging by some of the comments and the score and the people at the tennis matches going nuts, I sat there and said to myself, my cousin has a great point. I need to find me a side piece team.
There you go.
I got a text. You sent the text. So was Eddie Jackson as bad as he was week 1?
Yes, he was. He was. But we have more time for that later. I want to bring Brandon on because we have not talked volleyball yet. We haven't talked volleyball yet on this show. And you've been like, Jason, you read volleyball. How have we not talked volleyball? The show been on over a year. Well, we got our guy to come on. We're going to talk some volleyball. I got a lot of volleyball people who are watching the show. They got comments. They got questions for Brandon. And we got questions for Brandon. So how about you introduce him? You ain't did nothing the whole show since you just got here. You go ahead and give him an introduction.
You know what, Jay? I'd rather have you do it. But let me see if I could dial up a little bit about Brandon. Brandon is a guy. He used to coach for Chicago Elite AAU program. He was the head coach at Chicago State University, where he always has some good teams. He's the head coach. I want to say, is it Ed Walters? Am I saying that?
That's right.
Ed Walters University in Florida, where he's the men and women's coach. And matter of fact, let me call him Dr. Reeves now, because he has his PhD. So let me call him Dr. Reeves. So let's bring on our volleyball guru, if I could call him a guru. He needs to be a guru as much as he is doing for the sport of volleyball. Let's bring on Dr. Reeves. Let me call him Dr. Coach Reeves.
What's up, you guys? What's up?
What's up, Dr. Reeves? How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Man, we doing great.
Loving life, man. First of all, congratulations on the PhD. Congratulations on that. Especially black person, especially black men who can go to that level of education, they will always get props from me. And I didn't even know you were getting the thing. And then when I saw the doctor, I was like, he got a PhD. When did Brandon get this? So I know because I'm married to a woman who has a PhD, and I know how stressful the dissertation is. I know how stressful it is to defend it. and that you are putting new academic thought out into the world, original thought. So I give anyone who can accomplish that props. So congratulations from us here. What's up, cuz, Dr. Reeves?
Thank you, Jason.
All right. Lance, let's talk some volleyball with this guy. Brandon, it's so much volleyball to talk about, but I kind of want to start with just overall the health of volleyball in the United States. Obviously, with the Olympics, we saw our women's team win their first gold medal ever since they've been doing it. Our men's team, which is historically the stronger team, really struggled in Tokyo. I was kind of disappointed with their play. Let me just ask you, because I know you've been involved in volleyball your whole life. What do you think is the overall health of the sport of volleyball in the United States right now?
I really think it's becoming the women's top sport, especially in the United States. Basketball was women's top sport probably about 3 years ago, and volleyball has just numbers on the women's side just tremendously growing. Everybody's trying to play volleyball on the club level and everything, and so volleyball has become one of the top sports, number one sport for females in the United States. On the men's side, it's starting to rise. We're in a point where we're trying to rise. We're rising up to the third number, the number 3 sport on the men's side. So we're getting there. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, men's volleyball is probably going to be the second highest. I mean, probably right behind basketball as far as sport-wise.
Wow.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to ask him, what do you attribute that to, the growth of volleyball?
Right now, we're attributing to, on the men's side, we're attributing to the urban areas. Like I said, we're starting a men's program here. We already started a men's program. We were the first HBCU conference, which is the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. They decided to add men's volleyball. And right now we're doing a documentary on men's volleyball, the rise of men's volleyball at HBCUs. So I think that's playing a big role in the growth of volleyball, especially on the urban side. Diversity.
You know what, Coach? Let me ask you this. You mentioned basketball, and that was the sport that we used to play. I think volleyball is a sport, I call it the hidden gem, because I really didn't know about volleyball until my daughter Brooklyn started playing club. Talk to us about the ages when African Americans really need to start playing volleyball, and what avenues do they need to go to? Is it club first, high school? Talk to us a little bit about some of that stuff.
So I manage a lot of parents to start your kids in gymnast before you go to volleyball, because it teach you balance, it teach you all that good stuff. At the age of 7 to 8, they can start gymnastics, and then around at 9 to 10, start putting them in volleyball. So they can already have that balanced mindset. 9 to 10 is a great age to start introducing them to volleyball. You don't want to go past 12 and try to introduce them. So between 10 to 12, they should be doing some type of youth volleyball.
You know what? I have to ask you, why you say don't go past the age of 12, though?
I mean, it can happen, but after a kid mature, it's hard to teach a kid. It can happen. I mean, we talked about kids that picked up a volleyball 2 years and got a scholarship. It can happen, but looking at the statistics, it's hard for a kid to master a sport after they mature. It can happen, but it's harder to do that.
You know what? And one thing, oftentimes, kind of like basketball, volleyball has a huge AAU circuit.
Yeah.
And more, I would say, break it down into clubs. Talk to us about, do you need to join the club? How old you should be? I know you said about 7, 8, 9. But talk to us about why it's beneficial to play club volleyball.
Really, to be honest, I haven't went to a high school game in probably I've been coaching for about 21. I haven't been to a high school game probably about 5 years, just about. I don't go to the game. I go to, as a coach, I do more club circuit. That's where you go find your kids at. So, and then it's a high level on the club side. A lot of high schools haven't got to a point where they really, really invest into volleyball and finding volleyball coaches. So it's kind of hard to watch a high school volleyball game in any area. So that's why I say it's very important that most college coaches are recruiting at club tournaments, AAU tournaments.
And
know,
and I'll say this too. Everybody kind of knows that I've refereed. I do IHSA, I do high school, but I also do USAV. I've been doing USAV now for about this be year 8, I think, coming up. I didn't do it last year because of COVID, but it's year 8. It's definitely a different in the quality of play. It's definitely a different in the level of coaching that the athletes get as well. And there's also a difference in the officiating. The type of training that you get from USA volleyball is different than what we get from the IHSA. So there's definitely a difference. I'll never dog out the high schools, and I know Brandon is not saying that, but there's definitely a difference, and people need to understand that. And Brandon, I tell people this all the time too. Some of y'all kids ain't good enough really to be playing club, and your parents don't need to be spending that money to put them in clubs.
But let me say this, Jay, because I was a novice until a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know about club. Right. I didn't really even know they was giving out scholarships to play volleyball.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I wanted to have a coach on the show to tell parents and stuff this. And you're a volleyball ref, so you have to start getting into volleyball early because, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, you or Jason, they give out their scholarships. It was like freshmen already knew what colleges they was going to. They already had scholarships. So, I mean, you have to jump in it early, guys, I think. Like you said, I can't stress it enough.
Yeah, and you got to, and this is what I talk about, especially on the men's side, and that's what we're trying to change the dynamics. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of boys that's trying to play basketball. A lot of boys trying to play basketball. That's why we're trying to introduce them to volleyball. Another way out, another way you can earn a scholarship. Because I guarantee you, there's so many AAU basketball clubs that you compare them to colleges. It's only probably about 15 to 20% that'll go from college, that'll go from AAU to college. So volleyball is another alternative to get a scholarship in, another sport to learn on. I mean, another sport to lean on. I mean, you look at kids that's very athletic, they play volleyball, very athletic. Mm-hmm. So right now we're pushing our parents like, let them try volleyball. Let them try volleyball. I mean, we're going to pay AAU for basketball. Let's pay AAU for volleyball. Mm-hmm. That's the mindset we're trying to get our parents to realize.
Brandon, let me ask you this too. And once again, we're being joined by Coach Dr. Brandon Reeves here. We're talking volleyball. Can you talk to me a little bit of just how the crossover skills of volleyball and basketball, sometimes they, sports can cross over very well. When I coach basketball, my best shot blocker was a kid who played volleyball because he had such good timing. He could block people's shot. He was my best rebounder because of his jumping, his vertical ability. Can you talk a little bit about just some of the skills that can transform between volleyball and basketball?
So first of all, you talked about the vertical. I mean, you look at our net system. You look at kids that in volleyball that's touching 11 feet. I got 6 boys on my team that touch over 11'4". So you just got the basketball rim and their elbows up to the basketball rim. That's how athletic they are. We're looking at 6'9", 6'10" kids. I mean, you look at basketball, when you do your layup, it's a certain move for volleyball that got that same movement. We call it the slide. I mean, sliding from the middle to the outside is just a layup. It's just a different upper ball. It's just a different arm swing, It's the same movement. So volleyball and basketball, you got to be quick. Only difference I would say between basketball and volleyball is no contact. Volleyball, very less contact. But besides that, you got to be vertical inclined. You got to have the speed. You got to be able to hustle and hit the floor. There's similar things to basketball.
All right, we got a question from one of our viewers here, and this is a great question too. Dolores Bonner asks, how do you get the scholarships? She's late. She has a kid that plays volleyball. I actually know her daughter, and her daughter is a senior. Can you talk about the different avenues? Because we're not just talking about the D1s. We're talking about smaller schools like what you would coach at, and a lot of the junior colleges also have programs. So what advice would you give for Dolores for her daughter?
Hey, Ms. Dolores, I would first get with the coach and see what level my child is at. Are you potential D2, D3, JUCO level? And then I will attack the colleges academically wise. What she want to major in, what she want to do. And then I reach out to them coaches. We pay a lot of money to these scouting systems There's something that our parents can do and the students can do to save money. It's just a simple email. That's all these accounting services doing, sending out emails and you paying them for it. You can do that. You can go to the school website, find a volleyball coach, send them an email, say, hey, I'm interested in learning about your program. Here's my high school schedule. Here's my club schedule. I would love for you to come watch me play. I'm very interested in your nursing program and just things like that. And that'll draw attention to coaches.
And I know for a fact, because I know her daughter also she does play club in the Chicago area. She also plays for her high school as well. When a kid is playing club, Brandon, because I know you talked about that, that's where you're finding all your players out on the club scene.
Yeah.
How do the parents go about getting the coaches? I understand where Dolores is coming from. How does she go about getting her kid in front of the coaches? Like, what clubs should she be looking for, and what type of tournaments does she need to look for her clubs to be entering teams in, so that a guy like you will be able to see him?
She needs to enter. Her club should be entering them into all the qualifiers, at least many qualifiers as can, because most coaches go to qualifiers. A lot of coaches don't go to none. I mean, just regular tournaments. We look at the Windy City qualifier. We look at the MEQ. I mean, there's a whole bunch of qualifiers. Big South qualifier. Them the kind of tournaments gonna get you in front of a lot of coaches. And like I said, sending them emails. Send an email once a week. I mean, I guarantee you, when kids send me email, I put them in my my recruiting base. And every tournament I go to, my recruiting base automatically pick their schedule out. So when I'm out, I'm on court 144 looking at this kid. And I'm writing notes, Sometimes you might not think the coach is looking, but really, we looking. We just in the corner here somewhere.
So Coach, you telling me my name is Jason Palmer. I'm going to email Dr. Coach Brandon Reeves at Ed Walters University. Do I need to send you any type of tape, any footage of me playing, or is it just simple as, look, Coach, can you please come watch me play?
Yeah.
I'm a 6'1" outsider.
You want to send some game film. You don't want to send just a highlight tape. You want to probably send a highlight tape, and you want to send maybe like one set of a match. I'm really not a big on highlight tapes because you're taking all your best plays. I not played volleyball for 10 years. You're just taking all your put them in a 1 minute video. I want to see your weaknesses, and everybody got their weaknesses. That's one thing I pride my recruits on. If you come here and tell me you don't have no weaknesses, that means you're not at the right program. I want to see what I need to work on you with, and what's your strength. So that's how you can watch in one set of action. So you want to make sure you kind of include, and you don't want it very long. You want that one set and then just a little small highlight tape. You don't want to send a long email, get straight to the point. Hey, this is that. Send them a copy of club schedule, high school schedule. Normally, after I get a kid committed, then I might visit their high school. I might go to high school game. I know when I was at Chicago State, we locked down Josie Borum. Josie Borum was one of the top kids in her classes, and we locked her down her junior year. And we made it our business to go and connect with her family and make sure we every game went to senior night. So that's kind of what I do.
Coach, now let me ask you this, Coach. Volleyball at the Division I level is a full scholarship sport, correct? It's oftentimes when I watch, talk to me about this, like at most HBCUs I know, it's a lot of international players on a roster.
Yeah.
Why is that? And could you talk to us about that? Because I don't think people understand volleyball is full scholarship sport. At Ed Walters, do you have full scholarships also, Coach? Or talk to us about both of them.
Yeah. So Division I level, it just depends on where you're at. When I was at Chicago State, we weren't well known for volleyball. We weren't well known, so it was hard for us locking down kids. So that's why we went a lot of international route. We could get the third string of kids here, but we could go over the seas and get the first string because they want to come. They want to do that. So that's why we kind of built it up. I always made up my mind I was going to do half and half. I never wanted a team full of internationals. So I did half and half, and that's how the program turned there. Right now I'm at Division II. This year, I work with a limited scholarship. We just finished a big weekend this weekend in the SEAC, our first SEAC crossover. We went 6. We defeated the champions last year in the SEAC. We beat them the last game 3-0. But I'm working with less than half of the max. We got new here. I will almost be at the max, and that's going to be big for us. And you're talking about a program that's going to be at the max next year, and what we're playing with this year is it's going to be an amazing team next year. So that's kind of the thing about Division II. You get 8 full scholarships. Division I, you get 12 full, and at the Division I level, it's either full or nothing at all.
No partial.
You can't do equivalents. You can't. I'm gonna give you 50% and give you 50%, and that's gonna be one scholarship. 12 bodies, 12 scholarships.
There you go.
At Division II level is equivalent. I can put 16 people on 8 scholarships if I want to. So
but at least, like you said, though, you having something paid for. I'd rather have 50% than nothing. Talk to me about the SEAC conference. Talk to us about some of the schools you play. Talk to us about your scheduling, and talk to us about some of those things.
Okay, on the women's side, we're playing. I know you guys know like Clark Atlanta and College Central State, Kentucky State. It's 14 teams made up in the SEAC.
Wow.
14 got Benedict, Fort Valley, Albany State, Lemoyne, Orange Lane. I mean, it's just volleyball, and them some of the teams that we'll play. We also play like teams like University of Tampa down here. They're a powerhouse Division II school. We play Valdosta. I make sure I put a couple of Gulf South teams on our schedule, Division II schedule, so we won't just be all involved in the SEAC. We want to, because you never know. You make the tournament, you might see that team. So I make sure we put like high level teams to strengthen our schedule. On the men's side, this is a big eye opener for us. We just signed a contract with Hawaii.
Whoa! Hawaii.
We will open up men's volleyball next year in Honolulu.
Oh, I'm coming.
We'll be playing national champions from last year. Of course, you guys know men's volleyball Division I and Division II is the same.
It's all the same. Yeah, right.
We offer the same amount of scholarships.
I did not know that, fella.
Yeah.
The difference between just a bigger school.
Yep.
You know? So we open next year. We work to deal with Hawaii to open up against them next year. January the 14th to 16th, we'll be in Hawaii. We'll be playing number 1 team in the nation. And people know about Edward Waters University.
Nice.
We're very super excited about it. I want to tell you guys more about the team, but we're super excited about the men's program and the players we got. It's just amazing, man. I'm excited. I mean, the girls have got me hyped and got me ready, but the men's season is going to take us on in.
And without a doubt, Brandon, you know, and I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people don't know that because a lot of people kept asking, well, Jason, how is it at Lewis in Romeoville? How is it at Lewis University won a national championship? They not no D1 school. I was like, in volleyball, men's volleyball, they all together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why that rivalry between Loyola and Lewis here in the Chicago area
is big.
It's so big. It doesn't matter. Well, they're all kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
So everybody has the same amount of scholarships in men's volleyball?
Same amount. And believe it or not, the SEAC have more scholarship allowance than a lot of other D2 schools. And that's big for HBCU. I know my AD gave me 4.5, and that's the max that you can have for any Division I or Division II school. So what we do, we match that up with academics and try to go get us some kids.
So let me ask you about position. Like my cousin Jason Palmer is kind of short. So say if you're 5'8", because I get a lot of people, Brad, and they come ask me, you know, they say, my daughter's a 5'5" outside hitter. She's a freshman. I'm like, whoa. Talk to us about some of the size. You need to grow. Talk to us about, in general, with some of the size positions.
Well,
you outside, you probably should be. I'm just throwing that out there, unless your vertical is crazy.
I've always been the type of coach that would say, however big you are, how big you play.
Okay.
We had a kid at Chicago State that was 5'7", 5'8". She led in the conference. Kills Lauren Dela Cruz. She could
Lauren did
get out the gym. I mean, she jump out the gym. It just depends on how big you play. That's what I said. Because I don't have room to say I can't use this kid. I've never been in a position where I can say that. So I'm examining that kid, see how big she play. She might be 5'7", but if she touches 10 feet, why not take her? Most coaches are stuck on height. I'm not stuck on height. It's just how big you play. Most of Division I, you can't be an outside if you ain't 6'1". You can't be a middle if you ain't 6'2". You can't play the front row if you ain't 6 feet at all. So that's how most Division I's. I'll go off your vertically, how far you can get up, and how big you play.
Got you. So let me ask you this. So the thing that always caught my eye about Brandon, and I'm talking just because I can do this with Brandon on the show. He's gonna know where I'm coming from. Again, I do USA volleyball. It's not a lot of African American USA volleyball officials. Okay,
Yeah.
It's not a lot of African American coaches on the club scene as a whole. There are a lot of them, but not as a whole. When you think of our population, how many of us are playing, it's not a lot. So I'm at an event, I'm going to be more noticeable. When Brandon walks into an arena, he's going to be more noticeable. So there were times before we had even met. This was before he was at Chicago State. I saw him in an event. He kind of saw me. We kind of gave the brother, what's up? Look, But I saw him. He saw me. I was like, okay, that's kind of out of the ordinary. Turns out, I found out he was from Selma, down Alabama. I know he's from the Alabama area. And my boy, Coach Terrence Jackson, who was the SID at Chicago State when I was a student there, was coaching baseball at Selma College. And I said, hey, man, I know this dude. He from down there. He's like, oh, yeah, that dude, he from down here. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that's how small of a circle I'm talking about. And Brandon, my thing is, even as a referee, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to get more kids from our community in the urban areas to pick up volleyball. And they're starting to do that. They're starting to do it on the boys' side. But my major pitch was to get the basketball coaches to understand, I'm going to help you if you can get this kid playing volleyball. And the problem is that the high school boys volleyball season is usually in the spring, and then you got the spring basketball season. So how do coaches learn how to share and play nice with athletes who have talent?
That's a hard question right there, and that's a hard question. I'm almost to a point where that's why kids picking basketball, That's why they're picking basketball, because basketball coaches, they just want you there. They don't care what you play, baseball, volleyball, whatever you play. You playing basketball, and some kids just treat basketball as the number one rank. They don't understand. They just feel like basketball is the only alternative to college, and that's why we're trying to get the mentality to change. So I really can't answer that question, because I guess if I could ask a basketball coach that question,
Lance,
you know what?
Why y'all so stingy, Lance?
You know what? I'm not gonna call it stingy, but it has to do with some parents also too, because they pay so much money in basketball these days. I think most parents think their son is going to go out and get the bag. But my talk to players and stuff is this: parents, let your son play volleyball, baseball, basketball, or whatever. We want them to go to school for free. Yeah. Oftentimes, I think parents are naive to the point that says volleyball has scholarships too. There's professional volleyball leagues out there also. So what we don't see, we really don't know. That's why we wanted to have Brandon on the show, because it's other avenues. If we're talking about making money, we have you as an official. We have Brandon as a coach. We have professional volleyball leagues. You can go to school for free. That's what we want. But sometimes coaches now, we can get a little bit selfish. I said we, not me though, but I'm going to use we. And I'm like, let the kids play. If they want to play, let them play. I just want you to go to school and don't have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Brandon, let me ask you this, since Lance did bring it up too. There's also not just regular volleyball, we're also seeing a growth of beach volleyball.
I love it.
Beach is starting to come up in a lot of areas. I know Florida and California have beach volleyball leagues. They've got state championships. Alabama Gulf Shores hosts the NCAA beach every year. Is that something else that you're looking to expand in the HBCU circuit to beach volleyball?
Yeah, we're experimenting club next semester with the girls, and then the next year we'll experiment with the boys. But we're trying to move over into beach in the next couple of years as a Division II sport. Beaches are also a growing sport where you can use multi-players from your court team. So just recirculate, and it's a growing sport, it's a big growing sport. I wish you guys knew Mari Crockett. Mari is a coach. She's a beach
Florida
coach.
International?
Florida Memorial University.
We need to get on the show.
And last year she won the first conference championship and also indoor the same year. She was the first coach to do beach and indoor conference championships in 1 year. And me and her, we do this beach camp every year. It's down in Miami. And she got a lot of great things happening. And me and her, we're working for the growth of boys volleyball in the state of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the beach was really growing. I learned it even more when I started working at Referee Magazine, and I knew the beach coordinator. I forget her name. She was at Georgia State University. I can't remember if she's still there. But there's just so many opportunities for volleyball out here, and I just want to see people from our community first be aware that the opportunities are out there, and then know how to get to them. So how do we get our kids in? You can't do it in Chicago because we ain't got them. But if a person's watching the show now and they say, "Hey, my kid, they're kind of interested in beach volleyball," how do they get kind of on that circuit?
So our beach in Chicago, my coach a little AAU beach. Okay. Beach is around the summertime in Chicago. They run probably. I know Chicago League. We had quite a few beach players at Chicago League. They normally run between May and July.
Okay.
Because of the weather, May and July. So I know Chicago Elite. I know First Alliance have beach programs. So there's beach programs out there. But I would try to put them indoor first and see them grow indoor before I put them outdoor on the beach level.
Okay.
And Brandon, Coach, let me ask you this, Coach. If I'm just starting out trying to learn how to play, right? Is there any drills that I could do, any like jump rope to get my feet quicker, to work on my vertical? What drills would you say that a novice should probably teach their kid how to do, or what should they learn how to do first, probably?
Footwork is always going to be big. Like you said, jumping rope, working the ladder, because you got to be quick on your feet. You got to be able to change directions quick. It's just a lot of footwork. Getting on the box, doing plyometrics, that's big too for volleyball. So them are some of the drills you can do to get your body kind of transformed for volleyball. Skill wise, you just got to get it athletically,
Gotcha.
I gotta ask you a final question too. My cousin swear he's a good ref. Jason Palmer, is he a good volleyball ref, Coach Brett? Now I'm gonna call you Dr. Reeves. Rate his volleyball officiating on a scale of 1 to 10. Don't hold any punches either. Be as truthful, as brutally honest as you can be. And you're my man too.
I think
You think he what? A 2?
10.
A 10.
I never had no issues with Jason. Jason's always called a great game.
There you go.
Come on,
Thank
Coach.
you. Jesus Christ,
on,
Lance
Coach.
Irvin.
Come on, Coach.
Thanks, Brandon.
He gave you a yellow card. I heard the yellow card. You. He give you yellow card.
Hey, yellow card, no Brandon, man.
You know, Lance. And I got my shirt yellow card. Red cards too, so
Gotcha. Hey, Coach Reeves, Dr. Reeves, thank you so much for doing this, Brandon. We really appreciate this, man. This is so valuable, this information that you're giving to put out to our community, and we really appreciate it.
Can we
man.
get his email address, Jason, for people that's listening? What's your email address, Brandon, for anybody that's listening, please?
My email is b as in boy R as in red, E as in Edward, E as in Edward, V as in violin, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, at Edward, E as in Edward, W as in Waters, C as in college.edu. So there's b.reed at ewc.edu.
All right, there you go. Hey, man, good luck. And, you're doing something historic down there, man. Good luck on that men's season, man. I'll be looking out for you, man. And I'll probably be on that level reffing in about another year or two. I'm working to get there. The pandemic slowed me down, but, I'm trying to get to that D1 money, baby.
Academy.
That's right. That's right. Thanks a lot. Coach Brandon Reeves joined us. We're going to take a commercial break, and then Lance and I are going to chop up this last segment. We're going to recap what he missed earlier in the show. He's going to tell us his personal story of when his daughter told him she didn't want to play basketball. She wanted to play volleyball. And we're going to do our jump ball segment. Now, that's what you get for asking Brandon about my referee skills. We'll be right back. You're watching What's Up, Cuz.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans. And soon, they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Ranger Stadium with a full stadium.
We've lost enough people and we've suffered enough damage.
In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated.
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot. Now it's up to you.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. You're watching us. And just because my smart aleck cousin go talk crap, I just want you to read what that says, boy. That says, Boys Volleyball Official of the Year 2015, Jason Palmer is presented by the IHSA. So don't be questioning my credentials here, Lance Irvin.
That looks pretty solid, Blaine.
Yeah,
hey, Ivan, come on back on the screen. Ivan, come back on the screen. Ivan, anybody can have one good year. One good year. Even the Deuce of Diamonds can win a card game. Don't ever forget that, Ivan.
And I must say that award, it's not about the officiating skills. It's really a lot about what you do for the sport of volleyball in addition to being a good official. And it's one of the most prestigious awards I've ever received, and I'm very grateful for it.
I'm gonna stop being silly, and I'm really
I'm sure it is a great award for you, Jason. But like Lance was saying, like I can understand him now because Matt Nagy was Coach of the Year.
You're crazy, man.
On the serious note, I'm gonna give you credit, Jason, because oftentimes when I used to go to AAU tournaments,
right,
you would be one of 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 black officials that I would see.
We ain't got that many.
I'm trying to just give a little slack.
Yeah, like
you'll be one of the 2.
Yeah,
it would, ladies and gentlemen, it'll probably be Jay, about 300 teams playing.
Yeah.
Games will start at 8 in the morning all the way till 9 o'clock at night. At some events, it'll like say if we play in the Louisville Convention Center, they will have over 100 courts.
Yep.
So imagine that. Over 100 courts is 4 teams playing on the court, if I'm not mistaken, Jay.
Yeah, they kind of rotate them during pool play. Yep.
It's only 2 or 3 black officials.
Yeah.
We need more of us to become volleyball officials.
We do. We need more of us to become everybody officials. We're down so much in officiating. Man. But yes, definitely in volleyball, y'all.
And you just said something, Jay, I think people need to know. Like in college basketball, the average official in college basketball, I'm saying just average, if you get to D1 basketball, the average makes $2,500 per game. That's on average.
Yeah.
You try to get to D1 volleyball.
Yep.
It's a nice check in D1 volleyball too.
It is. It ain't $2,500, but it's nice.
Jay, if I'm reffing 3 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people the money there's so much money can be made in sports. It's not all about being the athlete. There's so many administrative jobs. That's
Man.
why we've had so many different people on this show, Lance Irvin.
Exactly.
We're trying to get people to understand that the money is all over the place.
Matter of fact, Jay, we're gonna get a college official on the show in a week or two.
There you go.
I mean, Jay, seriously, because they asked me if I wanted to ref a couple of years ago. I wasn't coaching when I was coming back from cancer, and they was like, "You'll be good because you coached, you played." And
You
I
got the
thought
right
about
temperament.
it.
You got the
Man,
right
Jay.
temperament too. I encourage people to look into officiating. I really do. So, but yeah, I mean, Brandon was a great guest, and we're gonna talk more volleyball in the future. I know we're gonna try to get your girl Kia on.
I'm gonna definitely get her. Jay.
I know we've been trying to get her as well. We'll get Kia on, and then we'll use some of Brandon's contacts because I definitely want to get the sister down there in Florida who's doing the beach program as well. On What's Up, Cuz, like I said, we talk a little bit about everything. Hey, let's do just a couple other things. We only got like 15 minutes left.
What we have, Cuz?
Let's talk. Hey, let's get some good news. The Chicago Sky are going to the WNBA semifinals. Lance, they defeated the Dallas Wings in the first single game elimination playoff game, and then yesterday they defeated the nemesis, them damn Minnesota Lynx, and the Sky are going forward, man. They qualified. They are now in the semifinals. They are going to be playing Connecticut, the Connecticut Sun, and that game is tomorrow. Actually, at Connecticut, it's best 3 out of 5. First 2 games in Connecticut, then they come home to Wintrust Arena here over the weekend. The Sky, did you get a chance? Go ahead, Ivan.
Those jerseys are fly. I really like those jerseys. And Lance, I was honest with Jason earlier. I don't watch the WNBA, but man, those jerseys are. I like those. That's a nice.
They got like 3 or 4 different ones, if I'm not mistaken, right, Lance?
They do. They have a couple of the yellow ones, the hot, those black ones. They have white,
the sky blue ones. They got
the
a
sky
white
blue ones. And Candace Parker is the GOAT. I didn't get a chance to watch this weekend because I've been tied up with tennis.
Right.
But I told you last week when we talked about it, I said with the veterans they have, Quigley, Vandersloot, Candace Parker, DeShields, Cooper, Stephanie, they have a squad, Jay, and I'm glad they putting it together at the right time because to start off the season, they had injuries, and they still was able to man the ship until everybody came back. Now I'm pretty sure most of the team is healthy. So now you have veterans that been to the playoffs for the last couple of years, and you add Candace Parker. I mean, they have a chance. Now I need to make sure I know what the team that they play next week have, but I need to go to a game, Jay. I love women's basketball.
They got a good squad, man. And Coach James is our buddy too, so very happy for the Chicago Sky. Congratulations to them going to the semifinals. So they're one of the final 4 teams, and they get past them, they would have to face the winner of Phoenix, and Phoenix just beat Seattle. They beat Seattle.
So
it's
the Aces
Phoenix and the Aces, Las Vegas.
Aces.
Yep. So those are the 4. So
Diana Taurasi and Diggins in them.
Diggins in them, So we got to get past Connecticut first. So we'll hold our horses on that. All right, hey, let's talk about some other stuff, and we're coming back to WNBA because that's the jump ball question. So, Ivan gave me a great jump ball idea question. Earlier, he had to look at the script to see what it is, but I put the picture in there. It's an idea Ivan gave me.
I'm good. I don't need to look. I never look. I never ever look. I ain't never scared.
So, but I want you to tell the story of our viewers. Tell the story because I was telling Ivan before you came on. A little bit of background of my cousin, Brooklyn Irvin, the starting center for Hampton. And her freshman year, she was playing volleyball. And then she had a come to Jesus moment and had to come to you and Paula and break some news. Tell me how that conversation happened and your reaction to it.
Why you want to ruin my day, Jason? You just had to ruin my day, all because I talked about your officiating. But you want to ruin my day. But that's all right. Then we're gonna get Brooklyn on in a couple of weeks. No, but Ivan, you could come on the screen. You come on the screen. I'm sitting there. my daughter basically picked up volleyball from my sister Cindy and cousin Jason, and I was going through some cancer treatments, right? So, I called my sister, like, do you have stuff for Brookie to play? Yes, take her to play volleyball. And then this wise guy, Jason, oh, yeah, she should play volleyball. It's cool. So they called me about an AAU team, and I'm like, she can't even play. She just went to camp. So we gonna have to get Joe on the show. But to make a long story short, freshman year, she had a good freshman year volleyball. So I'm downstairs watching TV. I'm sitting there watching basketball. So I'm sitting there, I got the remote control. So my wife comes down, and she comes down with Brooklyn. So they was like, boy, my wife says, Brookie needs to talk to you. I'm like, why she need to talk to me with you? Like, we always talk. I'm like, yeah, what's up? I thought she was going to tell me something like she kissed a boy or something crazy, right? I'm like, yeah, what's up, champ? She said, you know what, Daddy? Can you turn the TV off? I turn the TV off. I think I really like volleyball. I try to play like I didn't hear. I think I really like volleyball. What are you saying? I think I really only played basketball because of you. So now my heart just sank. She said, how would you feel if I just concentrate on volleyball? So now Joel, Jason, my sister Cindy, I'm just sitting there like, I kept my cool, but now I'm steaming. I'm like, I got a little point guard. I thought I had another Chris Paul. Daddy, I just, I'm going to give up basketball. I know it's the family business. And, I'm going to work my butt off. So I said, this is all I said to her. I said, Brooklyn, now I'm steaming, but I'm like, I don't mind. But now you're going to have to work hard. Now, if you work hard, I don't mind. If you're not going to work hard, then you can go to the rec league and play, but we need to keep playing basketball. She's like, no, I don't want to play basketball. I'm going to work on
at all, Ivan.
At all. She was done.
Yeah, she's done. Like, it was over.
It was done. It was over with. Then this one I knew she really loved it. Like the next day after the season, it was a little cold outside, right? And she was like, Daddy, come on, let's go outside and hit some balls. I'm like, hit some balls? No, let's go shoot some baskets. She's like, nah, let's hit some balls. And that's how she became a setter. She got a scholarship. It worked out, but for a month, Ivan, I was hot. I was sitting there steaming.
I could imagine Jason, when Jason had mentioned she also played basketball. I was like, well, I can only imagine. I mean, with Lance, I could only imagine, but man, I can imagine how. Like,
it was the funniest part.
And you know what the thing is, I can see Lance being real cool, real calm. Man. And as soon as she leaves the room, yelling, kicking
I just sat there. When she left, I turned out the lights, turned the TV off, and let the TV off. I just sat in the dark room for about a couple hours. I was like this, Ivan.
Wait, now here's the part of the story he ain't telling. Then this fool calls me. Tell me, man, you and my damn sister, y'all done got me. I like, what you talking about? Brookie came to me and said she don't want to play basketball no more. She wanted to concentrate on volleyball. I said, Lance, your job is to support your children in their dreams, damn it. This is not about you, sir.
He knew where to go. He knew who the culprits were.
Hey, Ivan, I almost cursed him out. I probably did curse him out. Probably did. Wait till we get Joel on the phone. Wait till we get Joel Anderson on the show. I sent him a text last week. I said, Joe, your little niece made the all-tournament team. I can't curse on the show. I'm not gonna curse. I said, but you still a butt wipe because I had a point guard. You turned it into a setter. He's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it was funny, Ivan. As Lance and Paula are coming out to club, it was a completely different environment for them. They're like every other parent when I'm refereeing, and it doesn't matter if I was refereeing basketball, water polo, or volleyball. Whenever you get the freshman games, you're not just refereeing the players, you're refereeing the damn parents who are in the stands because they don't know the rules. They're asking you questions and, oh, why'd you call that? oh, you can't do that. I'm like, well, sir, that's a rule in the NBA. Your kid is playing on the high school level. So they don't have that rule here. And it was the same thing. I thought you and Paul was so cute. And the one thing I told y'all, and you probably remember this, I said, look, you're going to see a bunch of stuff on this club scene. We're not really a volleyball family. This is new to y'all. Just ask me a question about something. I don't want y'all to be them people in the stands yelling at my fellow referees, trying to figure out what's going on. Just ask me a question and I'll tell you what the rule is or what the ref did. And that's what you all did. And, we were at tournaments at the same time where I was refereeing and Brooklyn was playing. And when I was on a break, y'all would say, okay, we got a question. This whole double hit thing.
It was like, what's that? Because you remember JC started playing in like 7th grade when we started traveling.
Right.
So she started playing late. So I was like, Jason, like, what's a yellow card? And like, then when she started setting, we was like, they keep first of all, she was one of the few black setters when she started setting.
Yeah, we can get into that conversation too. Basically,
so
a setter in volleyball, Ivan, is like a quarterback in football.
Yeah, they got the different colored uniforms. I mean, I pay attention to enough Olympic volleyball.
Well, that's the libero, Ivan. You're screwing up already. See, that's the libero in the different colors.
Oh, is it?
But the setter is basically the quarterback of the team. So you don't find a lot of African American girls playing that position. I'm just gonna say that. Go ahead, Lance.
Yeah, so I'm like, Jay, they called a couple of doubles, and I'm like, and you had to explain like, no, how you gotta, the ball has to come out and stuff like that. And that was helpful because I'm sitting there, Ivan, I'm fuming. I'm like, Jay, they didn't call like 4 or 5 doubles, and then James like, no, try this, try that. But man, Ivan, at first we didn't know any rules. We like
none.
Cause like, what is 2 hits and we knew nothing.
Nothing.
We knew nothing. I didn't know the substitutes.
I was on the phone.
I had a cousin that knew, and he was saying, if y'all stay the course, it's not that many of us playing. She'd get a scholarship if she continues to work. And she got a scholarship.
She did. So that's the last Irvin story.
It worked out.
It did. Hey man, let's get to this jump ball question.
Let me go ahead and try
question that my producer nor my co-host obviously understand what it is. But I think Ivan's got enough time now to figure it out.
What's the question, Ivan?
All right, hold on. He's got to do his. Remember, he's got.
Well, I don't have that. You didn't send me the rundown.
I didn't send it.
I don't have the text.
Oh, you don't have the text? Oh, Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Well, we'll do this on the fly. All right, here's the question. I'll answer the question. You can answer first, and then I'll go in. Ivan, you should see some pictures in the folder. One of the Phoenix Mercury. All right, so I'm gonna set up the question, and then you show the photo after that. All right. So the WNBA Phoenix Mercury, as we just mentioned, are in the semifinals, where they will be taking on the Las Vegas Aces. The Phoenix Mercury play their home games at the arena in Phoenix. However, this time they can't play at home because they're being replaced and kicked out by these people. Disney on Ice will be playing in Phoenix. So the Phoenix Mercury will be playing their home games at Grand Canyon University, which you know about, Lance.
Yes, I do.
Because they can't play their home games at home because Mickey and Minnie Mouse have gangstered the arena. So tonight's jump ball question is, should a professional sports team have to move their home games due to Disney on Ice taking over the arena? Lance, you go first.
Should they have to move? Hell yeah, you should have to move. You know how many kids, how many people come to see Disney on Ice? How many little 1,000 kids lining up to see Disney on Ice? See, it's about the revenue. Other than maybe if Chris Paul or somebody's playing. If your name not Chris Paul or Charles Barkley or Michael Jordan, you need to move out the way. Because when I was a little kid, if I could have went to see Disney on Ice, I would have begged my father to death, my mother to death. As a matter of fact, I did beg them to see Disney on Ice. They told me no. And you know what I got? A consolation prize to go see the Chicago Bulls with nobody in the stands, and they was god awful when I went to go see them. I would have rather saw Mickey, Minnie, and Donald Duck. Matter of fact, I'm still scarred from that. Gonna take me to see, even though I love Bob Love. Gonna take me to, I love Bob Love.
We couldn't tell that you were scarred from it. We couldn't tell that it still bothered you. We couldn't tell at all.
I think I might lose this week, but I got an argument. I'm gonna make an argument, okay? All right. No, Mickey and Minnie, y'all some damn gangsters, man. Disney World is some gangsters. The WNBA is a professional sports organization, for the love of God. They have a contract with ESPN. We're not talking about some small junior college team that they throwing out there. It's the WNBA semifinals. It's a professional league. These women are getting paid. They play in a professional arena. How you gonna boot them out in the semifinal round to make ice? First of all, you gonna put ice down on their floor, and for these jokers, the kids can watch them anytime they want on TV. You move the show around, you do something. It's the WNBA semifinals. Let the ladies play in their home arena like they've been doing all year. You're going to move them somewhere else, the Grand Canyon University. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. Although I agree with you, I still think Lance won. That was hilarious. But I do agree with you, Jason. It's what kind of look is like? Y'all got to do something because professional leagues shouldn't do that. Like professional leagues should not be, moving over for nobody. Like I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse or not. Like you got to figure out something, man. But what Lance said is absolutely right. Revenue. You ain't generating any revenue. You got to move on out. So I mean, Mickey Mouse draws. That's all I can say.
Let me tell you this: picture those circular suckers, those big old lollipops, and they're gonna sell a lot of those. Hey, they take me to see Norm Van Leer. It's an empty arena. I want to see Mickey. Donald Duck. I love Bob Love, nothing against Norm Van Leer, but I'm like, Daddy, Mommy, Minnie had a packed out. There's 5 people in the old stadium. Wherever we saw them, man, I don't know. Hell, they might have got kicked out there that day. Matter of fact, I might have went to the amphitheater to watch them play because they probably got kicked out their arena.
I feel like this is a life lesson I should teach my kids. Don't worry about Mickey. Go watch Norm Van Leer.
Oh man! All right,
I'm not fooling with y'all tonight.
Lance, you win. You win this one. This is a blowout. You win this like the Cleveland Browns beating the Bears tonight.
But let me say this, Jay. When I watched some of the game at Grand Canyon the other day, they really did have a nice crowd. If they can find a way to get some of the students out, because Grand Canyon Arena is right on top of you, right? Okay. If they can find a way to get some of those wacky students out, because those games, when you play there, it's rocking.
Nice.
So hopefully they got a way to get the students out. Jay, they home games, 7,200 at every Grand Canyon home game. They have theme nights, disco, music, costume show. They put on the show. But no, if they can find a way, but Jay, man, I'm still scarred, man. Don't ever ask that question again.
Well, let me cheer you up. Before we get out of here tonight, we're going to promote our guy, Kevin Williams, and his comedy show. There's a lot going on right now in the world. There's political strife. There's crime all over the country. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're in the middle of this pandemic. People need a laugh, man. Laughter heals a lot of stuff. It's very therapeutic. Our guy, Kevin Williams, who's been on the show before, he and his group of wacky comedian friends, they're doing a big show coming up on October the 24th here in the Chicago area. It's going to be a big show out there in Tinley Park. That is the flyer for it. Check them out, man. And we are going to have them on our show October the 11th. They're coming on What's Up Cuz to talk a little bit about the comedy of sports. I got a feeling the Bears are going to be a lot of their material. But these guys can talk about a lot of different stuff. So we're going to have our own little kind of comedy festival October the 11th here on What's Up Cuz, where we're going to incorporate even more comedy into our conversation about sports. And Kevin Williams is going to bring a couple of his boys who are going to be appearing on that comedy showcase. October 24th here in the Chicago area. Make sure you check these guys out. We all have to support each other in everything that we're trying to do. And, laughter is one of those things I think can heal the world. So looking forward to having them on the 11th, and their show is on the 24th. So go ahead and pick up some tickets. And hey, man, you got off easy. Last week you were sick. This week you're late. You're showing up at lunchtime talking about and still gonna want a full day's pay.
Yeah, I am. But last week I jumped on. Y'all called that flu gate. I jumped on. Hey Jay, let me tell you about some of these tennis matches though. I'll tell you that. Kim Clijsters lost today.
Kim Clijsters, okay, I know who she is. Yeah.
Madison Keys got an injury. She hurt her shoulder during the match. So Madison Keys out. Hey Jay, I tell you what. I didn't know those tennis players were as tall and as physically strong as they are. I just been in shock, and they hit that ball. Oh, they hitting that ball hard.
I hope you got us some interviews. That was the whole point of us sending you.
I'm working on that, cuz. Relax. I'm working on that.
He working on it, Ivan.
I'm working on that. That's why I grew my goatee, Ivan. They walking past me, smiling at me like, "Hey, dark skin." I'm like, I need an interview.
See, that's where I'm like, Lance was up there sitting in the seat with a cocktail, chilling. That's a Lance.
I'm not chilling. How about he working? We gonna snake his credentials from Sports Zone Chicago.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring me some guests, man.
I'm working. I was like, "Hey, Madison Keys, see, I'm working. It takes time. It takes time."
All right, everybody, we out of here for What's Up, Cuz. We will see you all next week from 6 to 8. I'm Jason Palmer for my host Ivan Vargas and my crazy cousin, the coach himself, Lance here. We thank you all. Please be very safe out there, Chicago land. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. We will march on to victory. We will march on to victory. Let us march on to victory.